Welcome back to my animal education series. Today I'm here with Dr. Smith at the Lackawanna State Park. Hello.
Hello.
What is the station here?
What is the station? It's a bird banding station. It's where we bring birds back after we catch them in the nets and make measurements on them. Put bands on their legs and then turn them loose.
What kind of stuff do you measure when you have a bird?
That's a good question. We measure how much they weigh. We measure how long their legs are. We measure how long their wings are. We measure how long their tails are. Sometimes we measure how long their bills are. That's all important information to tell us how big or how small they are.
What is the main purpose of the station?
We're trying to see if this is good quality habitat for migratory land birds. This is a fairly well-used stopover site. So we have birds that are passing through this site, moving further to the north to breed, and we also have birds that are arriving here and will begin to breed. So what we're interested in doing is evaluating the habitat. Is it good quality habitat? Is it worth keeping this kind of habitat around from a conservation perspective? Or should it be converted into some other kind of habitat?
What are the main species that you usually get in this area here?
Gray catbirds is the main species, common yellowthroats. What else do we get? We get veeries, we get wood thrush, although they're not that common. Holy cow.
Red-eyed vireos.
Red-eyed vireos, thank you. I'm drawing a blank. Red-eyed vireos would be another one. Black-capped chickadees, white-breasted nuthatches. On occasion, we will get some neat species like Wilson's warbler, although that's a migratory species. Warbling vireo, that's a migratory species through here. Well, actually, that's not. They do breed around here. American redstarts, they're actually singing right now as we speak. Eastern towhees, those are probably the main ones that we get. Yeah.
What is your favorite species of bird to work with?
My favorite species of bird to work with is American redstart.
So, what are we going to do now?
Check the nets for birds.
What kind of nets do you have out here to catch these birds?
They're called mist nets. They are specially made.
And here they are. Here's one.
And here's one. And the idea is hopefully the birds won't see them. See how we have this very narrow lane set. And the idea is to try to catch the birds as they're moving across this open space. And hopefully they don't realize they don't see the net, or they don't realize there's a net there until after they're in it, right? And what they'll do is they'll typically hit the net like this, and most species will pretty much just not move at that point, and they'll get caught down here in this bagging most of the time, not all the time. So to buy these mist nets, you have to have a permit. They won't sell them to just anybody, so you have to have a permit from the federal government to purchase them. So this is a recapture. We've already captured this bird, or somebody else has captured it, because you can see there's a band on its legs. Let me take it out.
What kind of species of bird is this?
It's a common yellowthroat, and they're fairly common around here. And it's a female. They breed in this area, in this kind of habitat. So the idea is to get the bird out as quickly as possible, because we don't want to stress it too much if we can help it. So I'm just going to take it out, and then we put it in the bag. You have a clip?
I like get in the way here.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
On the clip we have the net. All of our nets are numbered, so we know exactly where they are on the site, and we keep track of what birds are captured in what nets, and we also have a time that we take the bird out of the net written on this clip. That gives us some more information that we use to learn more about this habitat and how they're using it. So do you see what looks like dirt right there?
Yes.
Those are actually mites. Those are feather mites. There's the invertebrates that are living on the feathers.
The one we just had.
So
Does it harm the bird?
that's a good question, and I don't think they really know for sure yet. There's some suggestion that there's some evidence that it does it's a little bit harmful, but there's also some evidence that these mites actually might be eating bacteria on the feathers, which might be beneficial. It might be a beneficial kind of symbiotic relationship. So they don't really know at this point. If somebody else recaptures our bird, there's a record of it. We've had birds that we've banded here that have been captured in West Virginia.
Wow.
When I was working in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, we banded an American redstart that 2 weeks later was captured in western Alaska. You see that wrinkle?
Wow.
That's a brood patch. Basically what they do is they devascularize the dermis of the skin. And so it's a way that she gets kind of blood in her body heat closer to the eggs. So when she's sitting on the eggs, she can transfer her body heat. One of the things that's always interesting to show about birds, why birds' knees are backwards. That's actually the ankle joint. The knee is right there. Right? And actually the femur's up there. It's a couple of the things that we're doing when I'm looking at the bird. So I'll blow on his belly, and if you can look and see, you'll be looking through the skin. You see the red?
Yes.
That's muscle, so you're looking right through the skin there. And the bird doesn't have any fat on it at this point. Those are his external nares, so his nostril. Okay. And if you look right below the eye, right about where my thumb is, watch when I blow. See the hole?
Yes.
That's his ear.
Wow. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So their ears are kind of course, they fly through the air. So it's not, having an external ear would be detrimental to flight efficiency. So they have.
One of the aerodynamic.
Yeah, the best aerodynamic, exactly. Some of the things that I was doing when I was looking at the bird is trying to figure out how old it was, or it is. In other words, was it hatched last year or some preceding year? And some of the things you look at are like, you see how nice, see the nice kind of bluish edging on the feathers?
Yes.
Do you see these marks?
Yeah.
Those are marks that happen when the feather was growing, and you can see how they line up,
Yes.
feather to feather. What that tells me is that bird grew all those feathers at the same time, right? Because they all have a mark in about the same location, which means that happens in an older bird. So if it would have been last year, if it would have hatched last year, it would have only replaced just some of those feathers. So those marks wouldn't be consistent all the way across those feathers.
Keep saying, it's like his wing was eaten more than its mite's still there.
I think it might have been like.
Let's recap.
Like it's holes through it. I was just gonna look and
Okay. And keep pushing up and pushing together. There you go.
Oh, this is so cool. He's so calm about it too.
Yeah, well, a little stressed out.
Yeah.
Okay, and then go ahead. Now take your left hand, and hold it out like this, and put the bird on its back in your hand, very softly, and then very carefully try to remove your fingers. Just pull your right hand away.
Is it there?
there you go.
Okay, now just move your hand up and down a little bit. Like you too much.
There you go.